You know, Marissa, this is a classic example of, how you move the conversation along. Well, what did you learn out of what we've done so far here?
Well, I've learned not to push my agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as far as my business is just kind of go with the flow and then make connections with her
Mm-hmm.
and build the friendship or relationship first instead of um, looking. I guess what's it saying? Sometimes we listen to respond, not to listen to. We hear just to listen, but not to respond or say. I can't remember the saying. It's a popular saying, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we're listening to think of what we're supposed to say next instead of what they're really trying to tell us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's been part of my problem is what am I going to say next? What am I going to say next? Instead of trying to read between the lines
Mm-hmm.
and make
Well,
that connection.
yeah. Now, see, let's just kind of go back and review this. Okay, you reached out to her. What do you do? And I've rethought this since the first time we go through this. And every time you do, you're going to come back at here and you're going to look at something else I could have said or something else I missed. And I have to admit, I missed something. Okay? So let's bring up her page again. And this clearly demonstrates why you never want to really prejudge people. But the one thing that you can count on is that if you just ask questions and learn about the other person, the answer, will come out. So she, in looking at what she does, so here she is. She's been a sales associate at Dillard's for 4 years and a month, and she's been working for the city for 15 years and 8 months. And so we looked at this and we said, wow, here's somebody. She started out as a business office manager in a clinic. She went to a hospital, and she's basically been moving up the ranks. But what I didn't think about was, okay, she's been a city employee, and typically government employees are, they've got their pension, and my dogs are going to start barking too in a second. So that was the thing that I kind of missed, or that didn't enter my head. So I asked her, what does she do? And she says, I'm the administrative assistant to the director of the transit department for the city of Fort Smith, and I work part time. And so we come down here, and again, it's communication. So, and you're paying compliments when you can. So, why do you have two jobs is the question. And she tells you. Single parent of a 17-year-old with money, and with money in the city being tight, we've only had one raise in the last 5 years, which would explain why she got that job at Dillard's. And so here's where, you're both single parents, have kids the same age, and now we've all turned to the internet to make extra full time income. What experience have you had with network marketing? And she comes back and she's none, which is what you're going to get most of the time. And now she comes back. Well, now we come back. I'm surprised with all the things you've done. What experience have you had with companies like Mary Kay or Avon? And lo and behold, I tried to sell Mary Kay for about a minute. But between jobs, I don't have time for anything else. Now, if so, we react to her. This is the old, I feel, felt, I know what you mean. Mary Kay and home party type businesses are tough. Time's precious, and now you're paying her a compliment again. You're one of the most ambitious people I've ever met on here lately, and I can tell you you'd be fun. I can tell you'd be fun to work with. Would you be? Now here, you see, now we know. Now you can pose your question. Hey, would you like to take a look at my business based on an understanding of what her circumstances are? She doesn't have a lot of time. And would you be interested in learning how you could build a business, part-time business on Facebook in less than an hour a day and make much more money than you're making in retail? So now she comes back. Well, I would listen about it, but I can't promise anything. And so I kind of did this, without you, because I saw
Yeah. I
she.
tried to get on yesterday and had a lady that was wanting to talk about the business, so I met with her and didn't get back in time to get your noon show.
That's okay. That's okay. But you see, the average person here was okay. Let me give you the video to my company. Let me give you the links here. But you have to react to what people say. I wouldn't expect you to promise anything. Throw those LOLs in as long as you can, because those LOLs, what they do is laughing out loud. Don't take, it's kind of relaxed. We're having fun. So why did you try to sell Mary Kay? What was your motivation? Now look at this. I really liked it, and I can sell something that I believe in. I had a real pushy person who signed me up, and she kept wanting me to do this and that, not understanding that I have 1 or 2 free evenings a week, and I usually work all weekend also. I told her I just wanted to sell for me and my friends, only not as a business. I finally just told her I couldn't do it. I didn't have the time or the energy. So now you see what I'm saying? She could have gone 1 or 2 ways. She could have basically not really responded and said, hey, I just didn't like it. But she did like it. And so, she's, I only got 1 or 2 free evenings a week. I usually work all weekend also. So she's not working for the city on the weekend. She's working at Dillard's. So she's working at night. She maybe 2 or 3 nights a week. She's working on the weekend. And I finally thought I couldn't do it. I didn't have the time or the energy. So now, we could ask her, how long ago was that? But we already have a pretty good idea. It has to be in the last 4 or 5 years. So now the good thing is she liked it. She says, I can sell something that I believe in. So we're going to come to a common ground. It's critically important that anyone in our type of business is enthusiastic and passionate about the products. Okay? It's an integrity issue. And we'll put a little LOL. Okay? Now, she says here, I've only got 2 free evenings a week. I can show you how, I'd be delighted to introduce you to my company and its products. Now, how long have you been a customer?
I've been in for 4 years.
Okay. And what have the products done for you?
I've lost 35 pounds. I have more energy.
Okay, wait a second. And let's say I have 35 pounds and have more energy. I feel, 20 years younger. We did the 100, okay?
Yeah.
Now that's a little, but now what we want to do is we want to address the time issue. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna another paragraph. You can start off. I can show you. I'll show you how can start off on the nights you're off for an hour or two. And how you can start, how you can use, how you can do build your business. We're gonna go back. Build a business on Facebook. On your nights off. And without being pushy or feeling like you have to jam our products down anyone's throat. You're O-U-T.
O-A-T.
What is it?
Throat, throat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm just third grade teacher here.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah, I'm okay. Now again, we'll take the LOL out of here, and we'll throw it down here. Okay, so now here's what you want to do. You see, what do you think would have happened? What do you think would have happened with her if you had just, okay, I'm going to show you this thing and no promises? What do you think would have happened if you had sent that video over to her without knowing this extra information?
I think maybe she, either I would just not hear back from her.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably ask her, do a follow up, and she would, tell me that she hadn't had time to look at it, or I would just never get a response back from her.
You think she's going to look at it now?
I do.
And now, you see, you've done your job. And she's really a go. You see, we came back. Why did you want to do this? So here, I didn't have the time or the energy. So I've got more energy. So we're dealing with time. We're dealing with energy. We're showing her how she can do it on Facebook. And now, the other thing is scheduling, okay? Because she says she's got 2 nights a week that are off. Right?
Yes.
So what we want, don't we want to find out what are those, what nights are you off? I want to check my schedule to make sure I can be available to help you get started. Okay, now we're doing all of this before we even give her the information.
Okay.
Okay, Because let's say she turns around and she's giving you 2 nights that you're not, that you can't, I'm not available. You want to be able to bring somebody into your business and be ready to help them from the get-go. Right from the get-go. And if you have to take some time off, you have to readjust your schedule. You do what you have to do. And we spend a little extra time, but not, I'm going to make a prediction here. Okay? Because you're taking the time to learn about her, to get to know her, to find out really, this here is the difference right here. This is what people miss. You find out what their experience was. She liked it. She liked the idea. Now, we could really dig deeper. We say, what did you like about it? But, she liked it. I can sell something I believe in. Just the type of a person you're looking for. Now, what you want to do is you got to show her the products so that she can get excited about it and let the tools do the job. And the rest of the time, I'm going to unmute Robin because I see Robin's here too. And Robin's probably dying to say something. So Robin, I unmuted you too. So, but we've followed this thing. It's been, a couple of days. And in the course of, if we look at the amount of time that you've put into this, it's probably less than 25 minutes. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And what I thought, again, I'm looking at this, and originally I'm saying to myself, city employee. But you see, the interesting thing is, she's a city employee. She has all kinds of coworkers that are in the same boat. I wonder how many of her friends that she knows that have second jobs. See, that's where you want to be thinking. Who does she know? And she probably knows a lot of people. So now let me ask you a question. Let's go back. When did you decide that you wanted, after being a customer, when did you decide you wanted to do this as a business? How long ago?
Probably after a year of being a customer, a year into it, so about 3 years ago.
Okay. Because what's going to happen is, it's going to come up. When did you decide to be a customer? And then, of course, the next question that's going to come up is, okay, so after 3 years of building your business, how are you doing?
Okay.
What's your answer?
I don't know. I need to have one.
Yeah, you do. So what you're going to say, because number one, you always want to be honest, okay? And so the one thing that a person, okay, so I've been trying to do this business for 3 years, and in 3 years, how many people would you say you've signed up in your business?
Probably about 12 to 15.
Okay. And so what level are you? Are you in the business?
Silver.
Okay.
Distributor.
Okay. So basically what you want to come back to her and say is, I've been in the business I've been a customer for 4 years. I've been trying to build a business for 3 years, and I've had some success, and now, once I've learned that, when I learned how easy it is to start to expand my business on the internet, working with people like you, I'm hoping to retire at the end of the year. I'm working with, or not you and I would be working with the #1 income earner, female income earner in our company. She's a wonderful lady, and she, like she's doing for me, is going to take you under her wing, and together, we can go as far as we want to go, and hopefully, you can give up that, at some point in time. See, what's going to happen is if she sees an opportunity to make more money working with you in your business than she's being paid to work at a retail store, she can give up working at the retail store. And questions could come up. Let me ask you a question, Nancy. How much money would you have to make in this business doing this to maybe give up your part-time job at the store? How much? And of course, now the other part to this is she might like retail sales because it gives her a chance to get out and meet people. It's the only opportunity she has to meet people. Well, guess what? Well, clearly she's not meeting people to do any kind of a business. She certainly could use her. Well, she's working at Dillard's. It's kind of hard. You don't want anybody. You don't want your employer to know you're trying to sell something else when she's there. But she might like the social elements of being out, and she might. I don't really want to give up this job. I love my job. I just don't like the amount of money that I'm making. So when you're talking to somebody about doing it online, doing it on Facebook, especially when you're talking to somebody that spends all day in front of a computer, the last thing in the world that they would be interested in doing is spending more time in front of a computer. And so, but when you say, I'm going to show you how to do it on Facebook, that's the difference between Facebook and the internet. I'm going to show you how to do it on Facebook. I'm going to show you how to do it on LinkedIn. And they're probably already spending a bunch of time on there. Now she's probably at work or on her way to work. So she'll be back to you. So when she comes back and tells you the nights that are off, you can come back to her and say, I will make sure that I'm available, and I will, make sure that Pat Anderson, would also be available. Now you send her the links to the videos, and I guarantee you she's going to watch them. And then when she does watch them, and you can say, I'll check back with you in a couple of days to see what you think. Or you could say, when would you like to talk about it? But you don't want to be pushy. So just be careful. Listen, watch this thing. I'll get back to you in a couple of days, or get back to me when you watched it, and we'll help you take the next step. Which is, when would you like to get started? And this is the kind of conversation that you can be having over and over again. You don't even have to think about the language, because it's right here. You can literally take different parts of this and use it over and over and over again. Have you started to do that?
Yes, I've gone back over conversations, and I have a document that I copy and paste some of your conversations so I can use them in other conversations.
Super. And are we still having fun?
Oh, yeah, we're having a good time.
Mm-hmm. And we have Robin. Robin, are you in a position to talk?
Yes.
And Robin, so how is everything on your end? How's everything going?
Everything is going great. I also tend to see the pitfalls too. Like we just got a new tool that I put up 2 days ago, and I have a couple of wonderful ladies looking at it right now. But when you were talking just now, I realized that one of the things that I don't like about the tool is it gives them the opportunity to do too much information, and maybe that's going to overwhelm them. But I really want to say something important here, because this lady Nancy represents a lot of mothers who are put in a position of trying to raise a family by themselves. And there's a lot of people right now in the market that need our help, that have been in sales like cars, real estate, loans, homes, those kind of things that have not been working for years. They were never qualified to be like on unemployment. They're just like the unheard people, the unseen job seekers. It's like a woman who sits at home and everybody thinks she's dating because she's really pretty. And nobody even asks her.
That's no. That's that's very, very true. I have a good friend. She's one of the leaders in New Skin, and her family had been in the car business for years, and to literally pay for coaching, she got a part-time job at a car dealership. Okay, and there were like 40 other salesmen there, and she started to apply these same principles with people that came on the car lot. The average car salesman, you come on the lot, and they want to know, are you going to buy a car today? And if you're going to buy a car today, what kind of a car would you like? And if they're not going to buy a car today, if I can't sell you a car today, then take a look, and their level of enthusiasm for the prospect wasn't as great as somebody said, hey, listen, I got to buy a car today. I'm not leaving your lot until I have a car. You just have to give me a great deal. So she shifted her focus, and she said, what kind of a car are you looking for? And would assure them that, look, if we don't have, I just want to let you know that if we don't have the car that you're looking for on this lot, I will find it for you, and I'll have one here. But what do you do? And right away, what do you do? Find out about the person. Find out, what are you going to use the car for? Find out. Get them talking. And she became, at the end of 30 days, she was the number 2 salesperson on that lot.
I believe it.
And everybody was, what are you doing? It's not about me. It's about them. If you just take the time, and in this case, it's minutes, to just think about the other person, study the answer that they gave you to see, what's there. And I was probably grinning more than Marissa was when first I listened about it, but I can't promise anything. And the average network marketer would go, okay, here it is, boom, throw it all over them. Now, so you go a little deeper and look at what she's doing. So, now it's just a matter of, can she get excited about the product? And of course, showing her that she can do it on Facebook and LinkedIn. She can fit it into her schedule. And, she might have so much fun. She might get a text or two while she's working at City Hall, or not. But if she sees the opportunity, especially to replace that, I got to tell you something, Nancy. If you think, I know, when you said that you love your job working at Dillard's, I knew that you would love this, okay? Because because you're in a people business. Even though you're doing it on Facebook, it's a people business. It's a people business. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I have something really profound to share this morning.
Oh, I love profound. Go ahead.
Well, you've been helping us to make our pages more attractive for attraction marketing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I've been really making the effort to copy everything, the ideas, the concepts. And I actually have a couple of very amazing women who were attracted to the page and to the comments and what you've been teaching me. And now we're engaged in conversations. And I have an appointment today around 1:00. And I also talked to a lady yesterday, and they just enjoyed the comments and the fact that I was, going back and forth and liking their comments. And I have no idea how they found me. And then I realized last night it's because of what you're teaching us. Because I have people now, other network marketers, who are finding my page. And of course, I don't have anything on there about my business. But I'm obviously a socializer. So they're contacting me, and it's working. It's like a magnet.
Mm-hmm. Let me and how many of them are trying to sell you something?
They're all well, no, the two ladies aren't trying to sell me anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a couple of other network marketers that are actually being coached by you that have found me, and we have developed really good relationships. And it's going to be very effective over the long period because we have so much in common.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a real synergy there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's very exciting.
Mm-hmm. I always get a kick out of it when I see two of two students or two folks that have gone through the courses talking to each other. Now he's writing back. She's writing back. Now she could be at Dillard's, and she could be in the middle of work. The mayor could be outside during the daytime. If she really wants to talk to somebody, she'll come back and give you the dates, and then we're really good to go. And, the thing that I want to stress with everybody is how fast this goes. Brent Bryson over at New Skin is he can't believe it. He can't believe how fast people are interacting with their warm market people that they know, and he's blown away by the connections that you're able to make with people in the cold market, people you have no idea who they are. And what are we doing? We're engaging them, we're talking to them, we're learning who they are. There's so many people that are on Facebook every day doing what's networking, okay? But they're not getting paid for it. Now, you get approached by network marketers and other companies, students. I mean, you could look at a person's profile and get a sense of, must have read one of Max's books or been through one of Max's boot camps. And, you start talking to them, and because you recognize this person's got to be a network marketer, you can be a little bit more direct. I'm just curious, what network marketing company are you in? Right. And or come right out and say, I'm in LifeVantage, I'm in Isogenics, I'm in Jeunesse, I'm in Zija. I'm just curious, what network marketing company are you in? Well, how do I know? How do you know I'm in network marketing? I'm just, an intelligent guess, some of the words. And, but I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to, network, find out, meet people.
Yeah.
And yeah, it can definitely turn into something. But the important thing is to recognize, as you're communicating with people and you're talking to a network marketer in another company, your actions, your activity, your day-to-day action, the attraction marketing part of what you're doing, we could have left this alone, okay? We could not have pushed it a little bit. If she hadn't given us the opening by saying, money's tight, I've got 2 jobs, we know. If we're talking to somebody and they come, I'm happy, I love my job, we could have done it right up here. We could have just said right here, she said right here, I love my jobs. So by any criteria, we could have said, well, she loves her job, she's happy. If we left this alone, okay? If we just left this alone, at some point in time, because of the way Marissa's posting and doing these things, this woman very well could have come back and said, hey, tell me about what you're doing. Or later on, she could have liked one of her posts and Marissa could have had another conversation with her. Continue this without doing what we did, okay? So we find out she's got 2 jobs, and now nobody needs 2 jobs. I'm sorry, nobody wants 2 jobs. People would rather have 1 job, work, and then play. Work and play. So she's got to work, and she doesn't have time to play. So we come back, and there's clearly a need, but before we bring it up, what are we doing? We're finding, well, what experience have you had with network marketing? Because as soon as you know that somebody's been a city employee for 10 years, somebody has approached her about some form of network marketing, especially a woman. You're talking to a teacher. Marissa, how many people over the years have approached you about network marketing?
Dozens.
Right. It's almost like you have a target on your back. Okay?
Yes.
So you put down that you're a teacher, and everybody in network marketing that wants to prospect a teacher is going to hit you. And most of them have been in numerous companies because they're not having the success that I cannot. Okay, look at this. What is the name of your product? I cannot take most diet products. I have tried most of them. There is something in most of them that triggers migraines. I just tried Lavelle and was unable to take it to the I had to take the patch off after 2 hours. Horrible headaches. Ouch. So we're going to go back. Okay, first we want to know the name of the product. The name of my company is this Zija, right?
Yes.
And you'll find, now, Zija. Now, we could say, and you'll find that our products are natural, that we don't have this, that we don't have this, that we don't have this. But what we're going to do here is, have you heard of it?
My daughter also suffered from migraines, and she doesn't have them anymore.
Okay. Now, that's great.
She's been drinking it for 4 years.
My daughter used to suffer from terrible migraines. There's an eye in there. You're doing the super mix?
She does. Yes, she does a super mix. Yes, to stay away from caffeine. She actually went to a neurologist, and they told her to stay away from the caffeine. She used to do the XM Plus, but it had caffeine in it.
That's super mix, not super max.
Super max.
And let's see. Our products are now. The company prides itself on only using completely natural ingredients. Now, see what we read, but okay. The name of my company is Zija. Or is it Zija International or just Zija?
Well, Zija International.
That's what I thought. Ryan Parker, your CEO, is going to give me a hard time about this when I had a pleasure of meeting him a couple of months ago. My daughter used to suffer from terrible migraines, and they've gone away since she's been taking our super mix. Now, the question we really want to ask is, have you heard of it?
Okay.
But this is important too. So pride itself on only using completely natural products. Have you heard of Zija? Now, some people would be in a hurry to go to the phone. Hey, send me this stuff. But you say, okay, you say, look, let's. When would you like to talk about this? And so, don't be in such a hurry to get to the telephone. You know, I'm going to this year. I'm going to be releasing an internet dating book. Okay, and you can compare this to the whole online dating process. Okay. First base, of course, is the electronic connection. You're going back and forth, and it's a lot of attraction there. But the thing is that what you see in front of you isn't necessarily the person that's the real person. Okay, people have a tendency. The pictures can be old. People have it on the dating sites. The three things that people fib on the most: picture, age, height or weight. That's four things. And so the way it works is, first base is when you make the electronic connection. Second base is when you talk on the telephone. So you're going from text to voice. And third base is when you meet. And then if you decide that you want to see them again, then you've basically hit a home run. Okay? And you've hit a home run if you want to see them again. That's the way it works. Just because you hit home run doesn't mean you win the game. And so the reason that so many people fail, or have bad experiences is because everybody's in a hurry to get to third base. I mean, because that's really what it's all about. Meeting to see if the chemistry that develops between two people online or on the phone transcends, to the real world. And man, I can tell you some stories. The bond. I'm just going to throw one at you. Friend of mine up in Pittsburgh had one really bad year. In the space of a year, she lost both of her parents. To cancer. I'm sorry, she lost both of her parents. She ended up having a bout of cancer herself. That was it. And she gets dumped by her fiance of like 5 or 6 years. And I mean, tough. And she developed a friendship with someone on the internet who literally, I mean, every day she looked forward to going online and chatting back and forth. This person, it was her escape to the outside world. She developed a true friend. In a year and a half, they never talked on the phone. It was always text. And it was like there was somebody that she could talk to, somebody that could relate to her situation, somebody that gave her hope, something that she really looked forward to communicating with. It kind of reminds me of the You Got Mail movie with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. And finally, and there was no romance. I mean, it was just a friend. And finally, one day, she says, I can't tell you how much I really appreciate you. I think that, we should meet. And the person on the other end was not open for that. And so my friend kept pressing it. What's the big deal? So before they were going to meet, she says, we should really talk on the phone. And there was like a big space. It's like, you're going back and forth and all of a sudden the flow stops because, you said something or the person really wasn't prepared to respond. And so finally the phone rings. They agree. The phone rings. And when she picks up the phone, instead of hearing a man on the phone, it was a woman. And she was blown away. Her perception of who she'd been talking to all of this time was she was talking to a guy. And she was so upset that she'd been lied to. I remember, I was talking to her and she says, I'm never going online again. It was terrible. I mean, could you believe this person just strung me along, misled me? I said, wait, hold on a second. I want you to think about this again, because there's two ways to look at this. You had a very, very bad year, okay? This person, did you, maybe they're make-believe. Your perception of who that person was is totally different than who they really were. But during that year, the fact that you could talk to this person, this imaginary person, pulled you through one of the toughest times of your life. And so you have to look at it that way, okay? Okay, yes. Now I know who the person really is. Are you not interested in talking to her again because she lied to you? Okay, fine. But the person during that period of time helped you. And so the lesson here is you want to try to find the good in every one of the conversations that you have. And if you can't find anything good, you need to be talking to somebody else. You're here to communicate with other people. And in the course of communication, you're going to discover whether the person on the other end really and truly has something that has a need that you could basically help them fill. And we don't have to push our business on people. Now, all she has to do is come back and say yes or no. But she will come back and she'll tell you. We know it. She's probably... now, a lot of people are getting nervous. They go, okay, I don't want to give out the name of my company because they're going to go on the internet and they're going to check out the name of the company and, they may end up searching out other distributors and I don't want to do that. Maybe they don't like maybe there's bad stuff about your company out there. And if there is, these people are going to find it anyway. So, you get it out there. When you're talking to someone, it's just like dating, okay? There are things you like. There are things that you're looking for. The good news is you don't have to be so fussy. I mean, it's not a physical thing, but it is definitely an attraction level. There's definitely the idea that, hey, this person here could be one of your 3 top leaders. This woman, when she gets into this, she likes to sell. She can get excited about it with a little direction. Within, let's say, 2 or 3 months, she's making enough money so that she can quit her job. Now, so one of the things that she could do, one of the markets that she could do is like Robin said, she could go out, she could be looking for women, single women with kids. That brings up an interesting idea. I'm just going to come over here for a second, and I'm going to do a search on Facebook. And we used to be able to do this. And again, it comes down to what the results are and who's behind the profile. So let's say, show me all of the divorced women who live in Dallas. Now we're getting videos. Let's go to post. Now we want to go to people. So we're not getting it this way. So let's try it this way. Women who are divorced and live in Dallas. And let's see if we get people. All right. So let's back it up another way. Women who are divorced. And let's see what we get. We'll go down to the very basic. We got groups. And let's see. The women who are divorced. I'm going to check off Miami Beach. See if we get anything. Nope. So women who are divorced. Let's go with divorced women. So we got divorced women. We'll try that. Okay. So now that's not working. Let's try it a little deeper. People, women who like. First, what we want to do is we want to get a search that works. Now, LinkedIn, Robins instead of ribbons. Okay, so we got women who like Tony Robbins. Because sometimes we're doing all these searches. So we've got women who like Tony Robbins. So okay, now that we're kind of in here, women who like women who like Tony Robbins, and let's come back. Divorced women who like Tony Robbins. Let's hit the button. Nope. Okay. So, women who like Tony Robbins. So, basically, what you have to do when you bring this up, one of the things that you want to look for is you look at the relationship part, and you will see, okay, this one's divorced, this one's this one's married, if they choose to show it. So, this is where you're kind of doing a visual search. You'll scroll down here, and you'll look at the picture. You'll look at what people do. This person's an author, and you might have to go down to actually look at their page to find out. You got information here, and you almost now sometimes see people publish their relationship, married, in a relationship, single, and you kind of work your way down. So if you were looking for divorce, you could just go down here and look for single. But don't just focus on single. Look at some of the other things that people are doing. And so now keep in mind that the women who say they're single, could very well have, been married once or twice, and, now they're single again. So there's all kinds of different ways for you, to find people. But instead of being in a rush to meet, instead of being in a rush to get to the telephone, because you're going to find a lot of people on these networks that, hey, let's talk on the phone. Let's talk on the phone. Let's talk on the phone. And don't be in a hurry to talk to somebody on the phone until you're really sure that this is a person that you want to take the time to talk to on the phone. Because you could spend 30 minutes to an hour talking to somebody that you could have qualified a little bit better here and eliminated a wasted 30-minute phone call. Does all of this make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this has been a profound week for Robin, and Marissa. I got to tell you something. You're getting better, and you're getting so much better at picking out, really great people. And the only thing we really have to work on, we just have to wait for Nancy, to come back and tell you.
Okay.
And this is going to be textbook. And the fact that you just tried Lavelle, what does that tell you?
That she's not, she's still not happy, even though she loves her job. She's still looking for a way out.
Exactly. So he had no idea. In looking at it, came up with a terrific response. You probably have about maybe 20 minutes of total time into this. And the one thing that I'm going to tell you is the searches on these sites, they go, you got to go with the flow. Facebook is working on things, and no matter what they end up doing, there'll always be ways to search for people, like-minded people who would be interested in what you're doing. And you're both you're both on your way. You want to find your target markets. You want to find areas. Robin's got several target markets. What, Robin, would you say are your primary target markets so far?
Well, first of all, it's like a category of people who really know how to get satisfaction from working. I know that probably sounds strange, and it's people that are entrepreneurial by nature. So I guess almost any sales category works for me, but I've had 30 years in the real estate industry and all facets of financial. So those people, I can understand their need right now because things aren't moving. There's a lot of unemployed people who nobody realizes they're out there.
And of course, Marissa, aside from school teachers, what other target markets are and single parents? What other target markets do you see being available to you out here on social media?
I've been seeing a lot of fitness instructors.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I've been trying to connect with. Mm-hmm. And was it personal coach or life coach?
Right.
A lot of them they're not making enough money in their life coaching job. They usually have other jobs as well.
Mm-hmm.
As a tour guide for sightseeing tours and things like that. I've been talking to some of those.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches, which falls in the category of teachers, but coaches, they're spend a lot of time on the road with those teams and not getting paid much for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, well, anyway, ladies, you're both both of you are on your way to moving up the ranks of your business, and I'm thrilled to be able to take these little snapshots of your conversations. And a year from now, or actually before the end of the year, we'll all get together again, and we'll just kind of kick back. And sometimes it's really fun to go back and look at some of the first conversations you had with people, and to see how far you've come. But I promise you, you just keep doing this, and by Christmas, well, here, let me just put you on the spot. Where do you, Marissa, hope to be by, let's say, New Year's Eve in your business? How far?
I actually did a Tony Robbins thing this week, a book that I read, and I put at least, at the minimum, I would like to be an emerald by the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly a diamond or
and
by the end of the year, but at least emerald. Emerald would get me to where I'm replacing my teacher income and then some.
Mm-hmm. And what is it going to take to get to emerald? How many people?
Oh, I need to go back and look at that again. I was looking at it last week, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. Here's what you want to do, Marissa.
Mm-hmm.
Get that number, okay? Get that number.
Yeah.
And write it down, okay? Just write it down. And every time you bring somebody in your business, or change the number, okay? And so that's something that's easy to focus. You can make it a screensaver even if you wanted to. Post the number up on your. You could even post the number 6 or the number 30 or whatever it is. But that's an easy thing to remember, and don't be concerned if, in fact, I'm going to bring this up because we just added this to we just added it. Let me it's being added today. We just finished updating the let's see if they put it up here yet. The daily routine of a top earner. I just approved it last night. Okay, they don't have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up here because it was something that I wanted to show you that relates to that. Top earner. Let's see. No, okay, it's not there, so it's over here. Here we go. And this is what I want to bring up, okay? Okay. So we're coming up now to the end of the first quarter, all right? And so you get that number down. Get that number down and write it down. You have 3 more quarters to go. And this is where the rubber hits the road, and I want to share this with you. Okay, the fourth quarter of the year for everybody is going to be your busiest quarter. Your business does not slow down over the holidays. I mean, think about it. You have Halloween, you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, you have all the holidays, and people at this point in time of the year, starting in September, teachers go back to school, but everybody's thinking, what can I do to make some extra income? What can I do to make some extra money over the holidays? Or what am I going to do next year? What am I going to do next year? Cindy, I'll call you right back. What are you going to do next year that will make next year better than this year? And a lot of the people that you're going to sign up in your business over the holidays are going to be people that you met in February or March or April or May, and things were great. They were wonderful. They loved what they were doing. They were happy, but something changed going on in their life, and the next thing that they knew, they're contacting you. And just a classic example was this year's Super Bowl. The Patriots were behind 28-3 in the final quarter of the game. And it was the first time any team ever won in overtime. They poured it on. They never stopped. And you're all heading down the same road. And we just, like I said, by the end of the day, go back. Well, you'll get a message, and you'll know to go into the training area and print it out. We added, we just put it in today, and so ladies, listen, you're on your way. So look at the people that you're talking to today. Identify what their needs are. Some of them are going to turn around, and I'm kind of hoping she's going to come back with one more response. Let's see. No, she hasn't, but she will. She will. So until next time, best of luck in building your business, ladies, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Max.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.